If you think pyramids belongs to only Egypt, then you have to think again, because just upriver in Nubia, another African kingdom rose with its own pyramids, its own kings, its own queens, and even ruled Egypt at a time. This is the story of Kush, the land of the Black Pharaohs, and the pyramids of Meroë. Imagine as early as 2000 BC, the kingdom of Kush grew into a formidable power that often rivaled its northern neighbors, which is Egypt. Kush was not a shadow of Egypt. It was a civilization in its own right, with its own culture, religion, and monumental achievements. At times, Egypt tried to dominate Kush, but yet, in one of history's great reversals, Kush captured Egypt, and Kushite rulers ruled Egypt for a certain time. They established the 25th dynasty and ruled as the so-called Black Pharaohs. Far from their capital in Napata, they controlled a united Nile valley, blending Egyptian traditions with their own Nubian culture. Kush's most striking legacy lies at Meroë, a royal city that became its capital after 600 BC. Here, dozens of steep-aside pyramids still rise against desert skies. Unlike Egypt's broad-based pyramids, the Kushite versions are narrower and taller, each marking the tombs of kings, queens, and noble elites. Kushite queens, known as Kandaks, played a powerful role in governance, religion, and even warfare. And one of their most famous queens, Queen Amanirenas, led the armies into a war against the Roman Empire in the 1st century BC. She fiercely defended Kushite independence. Her reign proved that women in Kush held authority unmatched in most of Africa's ancient societies. Economically, Kush thrived on trade and innovations. Meroë became an ironworking hub, producing tools and weapons that fueled its prosperity. Caravans carried goods into sub-Saharan Africa and north into Egypt and the Mediterranean, while the kingdom's control of the Nile Valley secured it as a crucial trade partner. Kush also developed its own writing system, which is known as the Meroitic script. Though still partly undeciphered today, its very existence proved the intellectual and cultural independence of the Kushites. They were not mere imitators of Egyptian civilization. They were innovators, carving their own identity. Religion tied Kush closely to the Nile River, and their temples honor gods like Amun, which was adapted from Egyptian tradition. Yet, the rituals and symbols reflect local beliefs. Kings and queens were seen as divine intermediaries, and their pyramids were seen as the sacred bridges between earth and the afterlife. Despite its strength, Kush eventually declined around the 4th century. Environmental pressures, shifting trade routes, and invasions weakened the kingdom. And over time, its cities fell silent, its pyramids abandoned to the sands. But the echoes of Kush never fully disappeared. Today, the pyramids of Meroë still stand, though many of them were damaged by the 19th century treasure hunters. The pyramids of Meroë are smaller and quieter than Egypt's Giza pyramids, but this does not make it less majestic. And they remind the world that Africa's story is broader and complex than the narrow lens of pharaohs and pyramids of Egypt alone. If you enjoyed this video learning about Kush and the pyramids of Meroë, then you should get ready for more, because there is a lot hidden in Africa history. See, Africa's past is even richer and deeper than what is out there. If you want to know more about African culture or Africa's history, subscribe to Lucam Studios YouTube channel today.